Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here once again for the Positive Deposit Podcast. My name is Presley.
Yes.
Yes, my name is Presley Nelson Jr. I'm your host, president, and founder of Positive Deposits. And we're here to transform minds to change lives. And so I have a very special guest. This is one of my fraternity brothers, good friend, and I'm just so excited about today's discussion and allowing you guys to hear her journey because it's a different type of cancer, and but she is a Howard alum, and so she is a part of our Howard Hero series. And so without further ado, I bring to the show Melanie Walker. So Melanie, just give a brief introduction. Where you from, and then we'll jump right into our courageous conversation.
Okay. Melanie Walker from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Graduated from Howard in December. Goodness gracious, I can't even remember when I graduated. 2007. It's been that long. With the business management degree.
Okay, awesome. So, you are a survivor. You're going through survivorship right now. So, talk to us. What type of cancer are you battling, or you surviving through? What kind? And tell us when you found out, or how did you find out that you were when you were diagnosed?
So the type of cancer I have is weird. It's a rare type of cancer. It's called neuroendocrine carcinoid. And it specifically originated in my GI tract, which through a colonoscopy, they found out, but that was after I had a brain biopsy. I just was experiencing eye pain. And my eye was like droopy, and it happened for like a week. My sister kept saying to me, something's wrong with your eye. And I'm like, oh, it's nothing. I might have rubbed it. They tell you not to rub your eyes. I was just like, oh, it's nothing. It's just eye. I'm like, it's all right. I bought some eye drops and it didn't go away. It just got worse. And then the pain showed up, and that lasted for a week. But I called the emergency room, and I didn't like her response. She told me to come in. She thought I had a stroke. But I waited another week until I couldn't take it no more. Literally I was on my way to work, the morning of. Like, I had my work clothes. That's all I had. Going to the hospital, calling my job, like, I'm going to the emergency room. I'll see you in a couple hours. Yeah. That's a thing. Like, I really thought I would be leaving. Turns out I didn't leave the hospital. I checked in at the 16th. I didn't leave until the 22nd.
Whoa, hold on, time out. So you just off this, you went in for one thing, they said it was a stroke, and you didn't leave until a week later? Whoa, that's crazy.
Well, the stroke conversation happened a week before I went into the emergency room.
Okay.
When I went into the emergency room is when I called my job. I was on my way to work that morning. I was just honestly thinking it wasn't that serious. I was just oh, something's wrong with my eye. They're going to look at my eye, and that's fine. So when they saw my eye, she was just like, the lady who checked me in was like, I could tell she just knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
So they checked me in. So I went and got a COVID test, got an eye exam. Then they sent me for the CAT scan. That's when they found it.
This is during COVID, how was that experience, the COVID test?
Well, the whole experience during COVID is one, they don't even want to check you in unless you've had a COVID test. So I had to get a rapid test.
What? Okay.
Yep. So it was my first time getting a COVID test. Okay. So that's interesting. Also, I wouldn't even have got I wouldn't even have had a COVID test had I not been in the hospital for what I went in the hospital for.
Prior to this, you were never going to get a COVID test? You were just like,
not that I didn't want one.
Real quick. So why wouldn't you get a COVID test?
No, I would get one. I'm not one of those. It's interesting because there are people they're always like, oh, well, I had it. And I'm like, did you get tested?
Right.
They're like, oh, I think I had it. I'm like, but have you been tested? So I'm not one of those people. Even getting pre-cancer, I would have gotten tested had I had access to it. Ready readily access to something like that, I would have done it.
Right. Okay.
I definitely would have done it.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, that the day I went in, it's like everything like kind of went downhill. Like I saw the eye doctor, and there's nothing wrong with the nerves. There's no damage or anything. They just found that tumor and it's pushing up against the back of my eye. So they're like, they didn't.
Was that painful? That the tumor, like?
Yeah.
What did it feel like to you?
So the way I described it to people, it's like a headache behind your eye, like, and it's like it's like one side of your face hurts. So I could understand what the nurse maybe was saying about me having a stroke, because all the pain,
yeah,
it was on one side. But it was immense, like intense throbbing, and then like the pain that you feel trying to strain your eyes to just to see, it hurts. Like it's a straining feeling, like, and it's just so sore. But the amazing thing I want to say about the hospital and doctors is that they're so smart. Like they could pinpoint like all little different issues that I was having because of the tumor. So they're able to like give me pills so I don't have that pain and stuff anymore.
Okay.
But like, yeah, the cancer that tumor just attacked my pituitary gland, and it attacked all my hormones. Like it's crazy. Like, so the pills that they're giving me now, they give me the normal level of hormones. So now like it's balanced out. So now I don't feel that intense throbbing or inflammation they were saying.
Yeah. So let's
just the brain tumor.
Right.
That's not even nothing else.
Wow. So, man, the brain tumor, that I just felt the goosebumps, and like I'm just imagining like you having a headache behind your pupil, you know, like pulsating. Like, you know, when you get like a headache, it's like right there, right there.
It is.
Like right in front of your face is probably like somebody just smacking you, bam, bam, bam. So with that piece of it, because I you know, I was looking through your journey, and when did you have to have a brain biopsy, or this was before the brain biopsy?
Yeah, this was before the brain biopsy.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I named my tumor Misty, short for mystery, because I mean, throughout the process and the journey, I've just had my highs and lows and fun with it. So yeah, the doctors couldn't figure out if it was benign or cancerous.
Yeah.
So they were doing all these tests. I met with all these different doctors. They took all this blood from me, and nobody could figure out exactly what it is. So the neurosurgeon that I met with, he was against me having a biopsy because he didn't want surgery. Yeah. It's a lot on your body.
Right. It is.
He said we're going to figure out another way. So I had got a spinal tap where they drained the spinal fluid. That was the aftermath of that is painful, but they still couldn't figure it out. So I had to get the biopsy, and I got that on the 3rd of November.
Wow. So prior to that, and I was seeing, now mind you, the day you went to go see the eye doctor, that was my birthday. So
happy
birthday. Thank you. But it seemed like every single day you were going to different doctors. How was that? How did you feel during that process? Because I can only imagine, like, okay, I go to this doctor for this doctor for this. It was like an assembly line every single day. Like,
it was.
And then it's just like they don't know what is going. They kind of figuring out. But like, how did you feel like in that moment that every single day you had to see these different types of doctors? Because I know for me, that second time that I got diagnosed, it was so overwhelming. Like I was like, I don't even want to see nobody anymore.
Right.
Y'all are not telling me anything. Y'all are doing all these tests on me. Y'all taking blood. Too many different people coming in. Like, you know, so how did you feel being on this assembly line each day of this week?
Well, you have to remember, I was in the hospital. So they came to my room. So, I mean, essentially, I felt like that, like I honestly felt like a medical prisoner, because I was like, they checked me in. I didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
I'm like, they don't know what's going on with me, and they keep taking all this blood. I hate the needles. Every
Yeah.
night they waking me up, taking this blood. I'm like, I want to go home. And then I did feel like a guinea pig. I'm like, every day I'm seeing a different team of doctors are coming in, because they're coming in with a whole rack of students with them.
Watching this go on, right? You're like,
so it's like it's a lot. They're asking you all these personal questions.
Exactly.
Like, and then the one thing I did not like was the lack of coordination between the doctors.
Okay.
Because they would come in and ask the same question. So I would be like, well, I just told this doctor that.
It's like they're not even communicating with each other. Like, they're just basically like, all right, well, we have this new case, and now this is a very interesting case. All right, we're gonna come on this field trip. Like, it's like every single time. I feel you.
Sounds like you've experienced that.
Oh yeah. Like, so it's like, so when I first got second diagnosed, they couldn't tell what it was. They thought it was maybe an infection, like, and because it took me like 3 or 4 days, and I felt the same way like you. I'm like, there's a group of students watching. They may ask a question, or I'm just kind of like, well, don't y'all have the same chart? Didn't you just pass the chart to this person? Like, and then like I was getting frustrated because they wouldn't tell. I'm like, what is going on with my body? Like, they did a biopsy and they couldn't find nothing. So I'm like, yo, y'all gotta get together. Y'all have to.
Even from the biopsy, they couldn't figure it out.
Like they took a biopsy because they thought it was like a internal stomach infection. Because I had to get an ultrasound on my liver. And so I was just like, can y'all just figure this out? Because I lost so much weight. Melanie, when I tell you I lost so much weight, I literally lost about maybe like 35 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Like, and I thought it was because I was working out and things of that nature. And so, but eventually they figured it out and they were able to, really diagnose me. So we go through this week of you getting, assembly line of doctors, field trips of students. And so then after in November, you got the brain biopsy. What led to you make them saying, hey, we need to do the brain biopsy?
Well, it's so funny because I've kept track of all the doctors. So there's like all the different doctors, they have like their own personality, their own little personality. So I have one, his name's Dr. Wexler. He's the endocrinologist on the team. He's the one that prescribes me my pills because he's keeping track of all the hormones and stuff. So he was just like, I'll never forget, because he just got so giddy about it. Like, he was just like, the tissue is the issue. Like, I know it's so corny. It's very corny, but he's just like, everything that they did, they couldn't figure it out. So it was just like, they had to get a piece of it. And it's like, they were just so thirsty to get a piece of that. Like, and the neurosurgeon was like, when he initially was talking to me about it, he was just like, everybody wants the biopsy, but they're not the ones doing it. So, like, he like came out, it was like, he almost like was shutting it down. But that was the only thing that told him what it was.
Got you. So you went through the biopsy, and so and what did they tell you? Like, what was the diagnosis after the biopsy? What did they say?
Well, they had me waiting a couple weeks, so that was a little thing. Just nervous. Yeah, because when I left, like, I got this alert on my phone for this before I even knew it was cancer. Because they were all reassuring. They were all like, no, doesn't look like it. It's probably benign, because they didn't find anything. So like, I'm like, okay, great. They're just gonna like remove this. So I got scheduled for like removal. They were like, okay, yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a survivor. Misty, she's gonna go. And everybody like, yeah, Misty gotta go. My brain's like, she gotta go. So but 2 weeks later, I had to call in. And when I talked to him, like, he had no smile on his face. That's how I knew it was bad news. Like,
dang.
Like,
how did you take it? So when he told you, how did you take it? Because I'll say like this, when I found out the first time, like, I was like, I was a mess. So when you saw the look on his face, like, what was that reaction that, because you're a very bubbly person,
I
you're very
am.
optimistic, like,
Yep.
it could be a storm, and you like, yo, we gonna make it. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
but
right,
with
right.
cancer, how did you feel?
I can give you the I remember the exact moment when he told me, and if I could say it in one word, I would say speechless.
Mm,
Um, because before I had left the hospital, I wanted to mentally prepare myself. I remember
yeah,
telling myself, whatever news I find out, don't change how you feel. Like it, like even whether it's good or bad,
yeah,
try to maintain a positive, and just maintain my strong relationship with God.
yeah,
So that, when the times get really, really rough, I could just fall back on my faith,
right.
to lift and see me through it. So I had kind of already like halfway prepared
Mentally,
myself.
you already prepared yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. But when that moment came,
Mm,
I'll tell you, it was extremely overwhelming. It was devastating. I'll be honest with
wow.
you. Like he was just like, "Do you need a moment?" He was very, very serious, very to the like.
Yeah,
He just about the facts. Like he's a double doctor. Like he's a
yeah,
doctor. Like he's
right.
a PhD surgeon. Like
Okay.
so, I got lucky with the you know doctors that I had, but he was just like, this is what it is. They're not gonna do surgery.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some other options on the table. So um basically I basically got punted off to the oncology doctor because I don't even talk to the neurosurgeon anymore.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah.
So your type of cancer, um, what does it affect? Because like every cancer affects differently, whether it's bone or
Correct.
your lymph nodes, like your hip. So what is the GI that spread? Like, what does it affect? What did it affect with you?
My pituitary gland.
Okay.
So I have what's called hypothyroidism and adrenal insufficiency.
Yeah.
So it attacked the hormones that I had that we naturally have occurring in our bodies. So I
Okay.
don't have those, which it's weird that I have a low level of adrenaline because it's like, how is that even possible?
I don't
So
even
like,
know how that's possible.
no, this is what I know though. I do know that I'm a little slower than what I was in my 20s. So I'm thinking when I was back in my 20s, I didn't have it because
Okay.
I was operating at like, I mean,
Yeah.
I just remember the capacity I had back then. It's just I could tell it's a difference now.
Yeah.
So what it does is it specifically affects my fatigue. So I
Wow.
get really tired, like, and I'll
Mm,
just pass out. Like,
really?
oh my God, like I'll just pass out. Like if I say I want to lay down, I'll be like, all right, I'm tired. 2 minutes later, I'm out.
Wow. Wow. So fatigue. Um, how does it affect your bones? Like any like your ribs, anything like that, or?
Well, what happened with mine since it metastasized, it did spread to my bones, and I did feel the pain. Like it's a sharp pain. Like it's
Mm,
just a pain. It's a weird pain that
yeah.
you don't know where it comes from. Like now I know about, like now I can tie all these little symptoms that I had to this cancer, because everywhere it's affected is where I've had my pain at.
Okay.
But you get it's an intense pain, like an aching pain.
Now, did they label it like a stage? Like stage one, stage two, stage three, or this type of cancer doesn't have stages?
I asked that question, and technically, it doesn't have stages, but she said since it metastasized, that means it's reached stage 4.
Okay. So stage four. Oh wow. Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm
So
still hopeful though.
yeah. So what is treatment like with your type of cancer? Do you have to take chemo? Do you have to do radiation? What is your treatment plan look like?
So what's interesting is that they gave me an option to participate in a medical trial where I would go under 2 different trial runs of chemotherapy to see which one is more effective. I opted not to do that.
That's the experimental. That's the experimental treatment. Okay. So you opted out. Why did you opt out?
Truth be told, I was extremely emotional at the time. And I was just like, I don't want nobody experimenting on me.
Right.
I was just like, can y'all just, because I mean, at that point, I had been through like all those tests and everything that had happened. And like, not only was it cancer, like it spread throughout my whole body, like worst case scenario. So I was like, I don't think we have time to be playing around. So we should probably just go ahead and get the treatment. So that's how I made my decision on that. And the doctor, the way that she was saying, she was like, it's your choice. I don't know. I just felt more comfortable with her option. Because the first option with the surgery, they were going to remove most of it, put me through radiation, and then finish me off with chemo. So I was going to get a combination of radiation and chemo and surgery, but looks like I still need to get surgery if the tumor isn't reduced by now after the 2 rounds of chemo.
Wow.
So
so you have a port?
No, and did you get one?
My port's still right here. Yeah.
To be honest, I probably should get one because I always have difficulty because I have small veins.
Yeah.
So I had an issue last time. Like it's like my the IV swelled up on me.
Yeah. Like I would definitely say the port is a lot easier. I've had it both times, and so just definitely looking at it. So you still have to take chemotherapy.
Yeah, I have 4 more rounds to go. I had 6 total, but I'm 2 down, 4 to go.
Hey. So any side effects from the chemo? Because chemotherapy will definitely lose that sense of taste. You may lose your hair. Right now, it doesn't seem like the chemo's affecting you, which is good. It's not wrong.
So okay. All right, so I'm glad we are transitioning into this part of it because I'm holding on to my hair. It's definitely falling out. But I feel like, well, my doctor told me that I was supposed to like she said that it was all gonna fall out in 3 weeks.
Oh, right.
I was just like, okay. She was like, so you should just cut it. I was just like, nope.
Yeah. You're like, no. So you're just gonna wait to see until it just keeps falling out.
I think this is the one piece of it that's making me it's somehow getting me through it because when I look in the mirror, I don't feel like a cancer patient. Because I still have hair, even though like every time I go to comb it or touch it, it comes out. Oh yeah, it's coming out. Like, I mean, I've contemplated, I might as well just cut it, but I'm just like,
you holding
on. If I can ride on this, until it actually happens, like mentally, emotionally, it's helping.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think that's key, right? Because, of course, it's easy just to cut it off but for you, it's your sense of security during this process. And so
it is
a sense of security, and there's nothing wrong with that. We all cope with it. I'll just share quickly, and then I'm gonna transition because what's amazing is the support you got from like the Howard family,
and what.
Yeah. So, but real talk, I was the same way. I was like, yo, I ain't cutting my hair. I ain't doing that. And literally the first time I was at work and I was going through chemo. And one day I was in the back and I was like, I did like this. And then a whole patch of hair came out in my hand, yo, at work. And I said, I told my boss, I was like, yo, I have to go.
I gotta go right now.
And I told my barber, yo, just cut it off, because I had R-CHOP, and that's a really aggressive chemotherapy. And it to the point where I lost all my eyebrows, all that. But it was,
oh my goodness.
I lost and obviously, I'm growing up with beard.
Yeah.
But but I didn't have no eyebrows, no nothing, and so but it's okay. And I commend you for holding on because that's your motivation. You see what I'm saying? That's your normalcy. Like, yo, until I have to, I won't. And so that's that. But look, but I remember when I got the message about you, and I was taken away. I was like, what? Not my jewelry maker, not the,
Yeah,
not
Melanie the
you,
jeweler.
not you, but talk to me about that, because I heard you got a heavily huge response and support, and you talk to me about the support about that. Shout out to Michelle, because she.
I was just about to say
Oh, sorry.
nothing
Let
can
me
be
let
said
you. Yeah.
without mentioning a Michelle Howard. Now Michelle
Yes,
Howard.
Howard. Yeah.
I like
Mm.
just her as a friend from day one, A1. Like
Yeah.
she's been just an amazing person just throughout our friendship in general.
Yeah.
Like when my dad passed away, she was the first line brother I called. Like she is definitely somebody who, like, when you want to talk about support system,
Yeah.
like that's that like she is a support system.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
herself, like herself, so like the main reason I know I can be positive is because of Michelle. Not only everybody else, but like the fact that people care about you, even when you're going through such bad times in your life, like that's amazing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to get like overly emotional, but
It's okay. Let it out.
if I'm being honest with you, I couldn't have did it without her.
Yeah.
Like she like I talked to her, and she's just like so understanding. Like
She's amazing, man.
she's just such an amazing person. Like she's amazing. Like, and I'm so grateful for her, and the response that I got. Like, it honestly, it gives you life. Like it makes you feel like it's not the end of the world. Like,
Amen.
like,
Amen.
cause you can feel like that. You can feel like this happened to me. Like, why this happened to me? Like, but then you got people who step up and they say, well, you're this. They just remind you, there's something better to be looking towards, living for.
No question. No question.
So sorry, that was like a little
No, like one thing.
deep there.
No. I mean, like, cancer can take you into a dark place. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And especially like
Yeah.
positive and very ambitious people like us, like it's okay to let those tears out, because that's the tears of joy when you have people come around you and surround you, and you have that point guard of support like Michelle and other people. Like, man, when I tell you, I would have never imagined the support I got in the hospital, when it was like, yo, it was like a club in there. I throw like events and stuff, but like the nurses was like, yo, you got too many people here. But because
No, that's how it be. I'm telling you, like,
yeah,
seriously.
yeah. No, shout out to Delta Sigma Phi Iota Rho
Oh,
chapter.
I forgot to even say, right.
Yes,
Sorry.
no. So what other support? I know Michelle, but like, what other support from Howard, did you receive, or like your family? But like, yeah,
Well,
like,
I do want to speak on Delta Sigma Pi for a moment, because it is an extended family.
Yes,
it's not
sir.
something that's fake. It's, no pun intended, it's genuine. Nobody really knows. Yeah.
I know. That's okay. For those that know, if you know,
for those
know.
that know, you know.
Yeah.
But seriously, like, I talk to Marvin all the time.
Yes.
I talk to Vaughn all the time. And like, I talked to Vaughn today. He called me. Like, it's just the greatest thing I will say that has come out of this is me being in more contact with everybody.
Yeah.
If I could, like, shed some light about that, like, because everybody needs basic human interaction and communication, but like the fact that something good can come out of something so heavy, like, it should just give anybody like motivation to just see the positive in anything, really, because like I can't let myself get down because there's too many people who I know are praying for me, who if I needed anything, like they just want to support me, you know. So like I just, you know, I want to give the same thing to other people that people are giving to me. Like if there is any good words or positive words I could say to people, like when I speak about it, I notice that when I talk about it positively, I get a positive response. Yeah. Versus if I'm saying it negative to people, I'll get a negative response. Like people are like, "Oh, you're so like." Maybe I can speak about it a little differently because I don't want people to be sad about it. So I'm like, yeah, cancer, it's this, it's that. And they're like, yeah, you're positive. I'm like, I have to be, you know, like.
Isn't that so crazy how when you're openly talking about it or you're like, oh, you know, like it's like, it's a part of me. And I think that, and for those that are listening, I firmly stand on this, is that being able to talk about it is just in a positive way, or just being able to be comfortable takes those bricks off your shoulder.
It does.
And people can feel that energy and like, wow, this person is surviving. Like, Melanie, you're still here.
I am. Every day I wake up.
Every day. And you're pushing through. And so I salute you, man. Like, cause like, you know, dealing with cancer is hard. You know, some people don't make it, but you're here. And Delta Sig, you already know, that's I mean, right. Those that don't know, the International Fraternity of Delta Sigma Pi chapter, which I am a brother and I'm a part of, is an extended family that is just so real, you know. And
forever family.
Forever and ever and ever. So so I know I mentioned this earlier, you do jewelry. So what are you doing now? Are you still doing jewelry? Do you have some other ventures? You know, like, you know, I know you're in the midst of, but let's talk about the things that you do, you know.
Okay.
Entrepreneurship. You've always been an entrepreneur. So
always, day one. Always. Right? That'll never, I would be honest with you, that'll never change. It'll never change. And more importantly, another thing that's come out of this has forced me basically, because I can't go to work. I'm on medical leave. Yeah. So I'm like, I got all this time. Why not, you know, rehash some things, kind of like finish some things I already been working on. So I put jewelry on hold for a minute. Because it's not necessarily like a necessity business. Yeah. In my opinion, it's a fashion business. So it's still my first love. So I'll eventually go back to it. But my latest passion has been this professional services, where I help other small business owners and entrepreneurs with their business.
What's the name of it?
Well, I've been through several names.
Okay.
The current name is Techable.
Techable, okay. I like that.
Tech-able. So it's enabling technology to transform your business. Obviously, you know, we're operating in like this virtual space right now. Everything's virtual, technical. So it's, you know, and infusing both of those things and taking advantage of that for your own business. But for me, I know that's my main passion, is to help people. I know that I get the most passionate when I'm helping others see and overcome things that I've had challenges with in my own business, in my own you know, struggles. So that's what I'm doing now. I like that first.
I like the name. You better trademark it, the whole nine. Get the logo. No, seriously, man. Like, but you've always been an entrepreneur genius, though. Like through
Thank you for saying that.
No, seriously, like through the recession, everything, you've always just been. I remember when you made my little man jewelry. I was like, yo, you gotta make some men stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, so here's you remember my full journey of jewelry. Like before I was cutting and soldering metals. Like I can like make anything now.
Exactly.
Which also goes to show of like hard work, determination, sticking with it.
Exactly.
All of those things, you dream it, you can do it, you stick to it. It's your mindset. All of those cheesy things people say is true.
Yeah. So how do you feel like your faith has grown through this process?
Oh, my faith has been tested.
Talk about it.
I believe that this is always an interesting conversation because I've been more open. I'm just an open book anyway.
Yeah.
I feel like I've had a stronger walk with God now because you truly get to that state where it's like you're already pushed to so many limits.
Right.
So it's like you can no longer depend on yourself.
No, you can't.
Like, and I almost struggle with this because I'm like, isn't that using God? It's like, why do people all when people down and out, it's like now they want to turn to God.
Now you want to pray.
Now you what happened when you was up? You know, like
right.
the praises and the blessings then.
Yeah.
But that's when you're most able to receive the word of God in the way that He wants you to. So
amen.
You have your own journey with God, and I believe everybody's relationship is special and unique and individual. So I know that right now I have probably the strongest. I know it'll get stronger, but the strongest relationship I have right now, because it's just like if I didn't believe, I would be a wreck. I would be a mess.
Yeah.
If I did not believe.
So now, so that's a blessing, man, and I concur with you so much, man. Like when I even had a doubt, I was like, God, you got to get me through this, man. You got me through Howard. You got me through the storms. Howard alone that's a testimony in itself.
What it is, that degree.
Yeah, that degree is they make you go through the wrenches for
Stars and stripes.
Bars. But no, your faith, without him, we wouldn't be here, man. You know, without him, the vision that he put in me to even have this intimate conversation with you wouldn't have been possible without him. And so I got a couple more questions for you, not too crazy. So with this type of cancer, do you have to be on a different diet? You know, like, do you have to, exercise more, or like, how are you eating now? Now that, because, sometimes they say you got to eat differently, but with this type of cancer, can you still just eat regular, or?
I just kind of still eat regular,
Okay.
because I have a dietitian.
Nice. Okay.
She said that I didn't have to like have a special diet.
Okay.
But just like healthy eating in general. So
Yeah.
like eliminating a lot of processed foods, eliminating a lot of red meat.
Okay.
So like a lot of the things that they tell you in general, health wise, I have to do, but I need to concentrate more on like there's a plate setup that I'm more conscious of now that I wasn't before.
Yeah.
So like 2/4 green, 1/4 fiber, 1/4 protein.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so that's how she said I needed to like separate my meal. So whenever I'm doing a meal, I need to make sure those 4 elements. But like half of my plate needs to be green vegetables.
Okay. So
or vegetables, period.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So nothing special, but I like eating healthy.
Right. So I know that you mentioned, or you have to be on medicine for the rest of your life, right?
Well, I know I'll be on treatment for the rest of my life. So the way she was explaining, I'm just like, well, does that mean I'm gonna have chemo? Like, what does that mean? So it's basically a regimen of pills I'm gonna have to take all the time. Which is, I mean, it's not fun. But if it'll keep me living, I'm like there's certain things that I had gotten over. Like I'm just like, all right, I gotta do this. Oh, all right, I gotta do that now. I want to show you something really quick. I got like a little show and tell.
Oh, okay. Let's see it.
This is my board.
Wow.
This is my pill schedule here.
Wow. So
this is for 5 days. Actually, it needs a change because this is for 5 days after my chemo. So I've been on the last 2 days. I've been on something different, but I'll take off the dexamethasone and the Zofran from right here and then right here, and then everything else is the same. So
for those that may be just listening, what is that schedule? Can you just tell us what your schedule is like?
Yes. So in the morning, so for the tumor in general before the cancer treatment, they put me on levothyroxine and hydrocortisone. And I have to take one of those pills with food one of them without food, but I have to take them both in the morning.
Okay.
Actually, I have to take the hydrocortisone twice in
Wow.
the day, and the levothyroxine. I can't take it with like iron or vitamin D or calcium because it'll have some sort of effect. But I can't eat any food for like an hour.
Okay.
And then I take that pill at 9. Then I take another round of pills at 12, another round at 4, another round at 5, and then I close out at 9. But then I just have my phone. I just set my phone to go off. So, and this is my pill divider that I use.
Nice. Okay.
For the day. So I have the 7 days in a tray.
So
but that's
it. So what keeps you motivated? What keeps you, be able to sleep at night?
I would say like everybody, like you said, like it like God, and everybody else around me. Like I can't tell you how excited I was to do this podcast, because I was just thinking like how amazing things could happen out of something so bad, like my basic motivation to complete my business, to be out here, helping other people. I'm like, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and make a difference in somebody's life, and I have the ability to do that, like me, so that motivates me. Like I want to succeed. Like I'm not done yet, like
hey, talk about it. About it.
So I got things to do. So, that for sure helps to keep me in good high spirits. If I'm being honest, you have to, the sadness can get you,
no question.
But if you keep yourself busy, focused on things that you love to do, and I'm telling you, it's the faith, man. I can't say that I'm doing this by myself. Like
no question.
Because I pray all the time.
Amen. So see, you already started segueing into what we always ask every guest on our show. Your top 3 positive deposits that you would give to any cancer survivor, any cancer patient, someone that may be diagnosed with your unique and rare cancer. Top 3.
I know you told me and I didn't think about it.
It's okay. You were going into it. I just
want to encourage people. Well, one, I know this is, I need to stop saying this. I don't know if it's cheesy, but being thankful to wake up every morning, being like living in that, like the appreciation of that moment is taking on a whole new meaning for me now. So I can say that if you could take on that part of it, like your day could be filled with so much more satisfaction. Instead of like being upset about certain things, because then being in a situation like this, you realize there's way more important things to be worried and stressed about.
Ooh, exactly. Being
thankful and appreciative for just living. Just as simple as that. Being able to see the positive out of everything, because you can draw negative also.
Yes, you can.
But just focusing on the positive. And then the last thing is not worrying about what you can't change.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, I would say that, because that's the biggest challenge. That's the biggest hurdle. But once you come into some sort of peace with that, every day gets better.
Amen. Well, look, man, this was amazing. I'm so glad I was able to have you on the show. So if we want to, if folks want to just reach out to you, hey, Tech Able, like, how can we reach out to you? Do you have a social media? Do you have Facebook? How can people reach out to you?
Oh, well, it's still just my old Melanie Jules handle. So at Melanie J, any social media, you can find me at that extension. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram is still at Melanie J. If you want to
at Melanie J.
Extend it. Yeah,
so
I will get that.
We need that. We need that jewelry. The jewelry was fire. Hey, it was fire. But I'm glad that you are expanding and really helping small businesses. Like I already know that Tech Able is going to blow up, and so I'm so glad that you're on the show. Thank you for coming. You know, for those that are listening, and you can catch this on all streaming platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and iHeartRadio. Also, you can go to our website at www.positivedeposits.org. Hit that donation button too. You know,
Definitely.
this definitely helps us to continue these courageous conversations. And last but not least, we are here to transform minds and change lives. So thank you so much, Melanie, for coming on. And
no problem. Thank you for having me. It's soon you know.
Hey, trust Black women.
Just you know, quick little.
No doubt, no doubt.
Has to do that.
No doubt.
Sorry.
No, this has been great. And we'll talk to you again. You are part of the Positive Deposit family. You are part of it.
Yes, I would love to come back at any point. You know, I like to talk. So.
Okay. We're gonna have to talk offline, but we'll see you next time.